Here we'll learn the anatomy of the testes and the spermatic cord. We'll begin with a cross-section of a single testis and the epididymis. Recall that the testes reside outside the body core where the temperature is more suitable for spermatogenesis, the process of sperm production. First, show the outer surface of the testis, the tunica albuginea. Tunica means membranous sheath, and albuginea refers to its bluish-white color. Label the mediastinum, which is where the tunica albuginea forms a thickened ridge along the posterior aspect of the testis. The tunica albuginea extends into the testis to form septa, which create lobules, indicate that the lobules contain seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules are where sperm are produced under the direction of follicle-stimulating hormone and testosterone. We can see a seminiferous tubule in cross-section with forming sperm cells in our notes. Immature sperm exit the seminiferous tubules via straight tubules, which deliver them to the rete testis and the mediastinum. The rete testis concentrates non-motile sperm before they're moved to the epididymis via the efferent ductules. Show that the epididymis comprises a single, tightly coiled duct. Sperm are moved through the head, body, and tail, with fluid reabsorption and concentration continuing throughout. Sperm cells are stored in the epididymis for roughly 2 weeks, during which time they achieve motility. The tail of the epididymis is continuous with the ductus deferens. It transports the sperm through the spermatic cord and ultimately to the ejaculatory duct. Here, the sperm cells join with various fluids to form semen. Lastly, show the tunica vaginalis. This double-layered sac comprises a visceral layer that overlies the tunica albuginea and a parietal layer. Label the cavity between the visceral and parietal layers. This potential space contains a small amount of fluid which allows for the movement of the testicles within the scrotum. Next, let's learn the layers of the scrotum, which is the sac that houses the testicles. And let's learn the spermatic cord, which comprises neurovascular structures and sheaths of tissue that suspend the testes within the scrotum. First, in anterior view, draw the testes and head of the epididymis and the surrounding tunica vaginalis. We label the parietal and visceral layers. For context, show that the penis arises between the testes. Now show the scrotum, which comprises skin and a layer of smooth dartos muscle and fascia. Notice that the dartos muscle and fascia creates a septum that divides the right and left testes. Next, we'll show the layers that comprise the spermatic cord, which forms during the fetal period, during the testes' descent from the abdomen to the scrotum. On their way to the scrotum, the testes pass through the inguinal canal, which is an oblique tunnel in the anterior abdominal wall. As they descend, the testes push layers of the abdominal wall through the inguinal canal and into the scrotum. This forms the walls of the spermatic cord. Review these layers of the abdominal wall in our notes. Now I'll show the external spermatic fascia, which is derived from the fascia of the external oblique muscle. Then show the cremasteric muscle and fascia, which are derived from the internal oblique muscle and its fascia. In response to cold temperatures, the loops of cremasteric muscle fibers contract. This pulls the testicles closer to the warmth of the body. Show the internal spermatic fascia, which is derived from the transversalis. Lastly, indicate neurovascular structures and the ductus deferens, which travel within the spermatic cord. List the contents of the spermatic cord as follows: the ductus deferens artery, testicular artery, and cremasteric artery, the genital branch of the genitofemoral nerve and testicular sympathetic nerves, and lymphatic vessels, the pampiniform venous plexus, and the ductus deferens. Be aware that the ilioinguinal nerve travels alongside the spermatic cord within the inguinal canal. After it exits the canal through the abdominal wall, the ilioinguinal nerve provides sensory innervation to the skin of the scrotum, root of the penis, and upper medial thigh. As an important clinical correlation, write that torsion of the spermatic cord can disrupt the blood supply to the testes. This leads to pain, swelling, and even necrosis. Testicular torsion is most common in people under 25 years old, and it's often due to congenital abnormalities in the tunica vaginalis. These abnormalities allow for twisting of the spermatic cord, called a bell clapper deformity. Also indicate that a pampiniform plexus varicocele occurs when the veins that drain the testicles become abnormally dilated. This creates a bag of worms appearance. Varicoceles can cause pain and infertility, but can be repaired surgically. Varicoceles are more common on the left side due to asymmetries in testicular vein drainage. On the left side, the testicular vein drains at a nearly perpendicular angle into the left renal vein, which then drains into the inferior vena cava. Whereas on the right side, the testicular vein drains directly into the inferior vena cava. Any impairment of blood flow through the left renal vein can also contribute to varicocele formation. Thus, in an older adult with a new onset varicocele, we need to consider the possibility of a left renal cell carcinoma. This concludes our diagram.